I have kingdom with black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
It's definitely awakening, just you have to see a God in order to see the God in yourself. And a lot of people don't want to see that. They're so used to seeing this European God, his ways, and they're not really used to, the black God. They're not really used to the ways, the divine ways. And it takes time to get used to, It takes a lot of time and humbling yourself and just really paying attention, A testimony from you, King Noble, of what I learned, just humbling yourself. Everything doesn't need a reaction. When I came around you, I was very violent, wanting to fight, smack everybody upside the head, and you taught me to really humble myself and just to understand and check out my surroundings, because it's not just really me. It's not just really me in the world, it's everybody else, and we're connected. In order for me to understand the God within me, I had to see the God within you. It helped me realize just the love of myself and just loving myself. And the devotion that I have for you is the devotion I have for myself. And just to constantly to keep pushing and just never really giving up, and to fight through those trials and tribulations and the temptations, because that's how I ain't gonna say really tested, but it's an opportunity, like you said, to see the higher power within yourself that you can tap into through the universe. Because like you said, every day we become a different person. Every day it feels like I become a different person. It's like, today, what ancestor, what deity am I going to be today? How am I going to conquer this day? But with humbleness and devotion, is key, and just not really questioning, just understanding and the knowing. Because if you're still questioning, that means you don't know. If you have to question something, that means you don't know. Because once you get into the knowing, it's not really a question. It's just really a knowing. It's a movement of knowing. It's like when you see another conscious being and they're awake, not trying to wake up, not conscious, but actually awaken. You know what I'm saying? You kind of connect with that. You don't really have to ask questions. It's really a code language. It's a code way. It's a certain type of vibration we move as. You know what I'm saying? As the one, because we're all connected. You know what I'm saying? But again, you won't ever see the God, that's outside of you until you actually see the God that's within you, and you will never see the God that's within you until you see the God that's outside of you.
Take your time.
And people
come on
really understand that. They don't want to concept that. They don't want to really push for that. They say we want change, but how are you changing? Still questioning the past, or still going into the past. You know what I'm saying? Or to even just try to picture the matrix of the future. And just live in the now. You know what I'm saying? The future is now. The past is never, and the future is now. And people don't understand that. They're just, constantly just trying to, really, they get distracted with the distractions. And it's really, you're looking at the big picture when you should really be looking at the small breadcrumbs that's going past your way. The little tiny distractions that you need to be looking for, you know what I'm saying? That will change you and alter you and alter your mind, to be becoming better. We want better, but we still dwell in the white man's world of this matrix of just wanting to perfect ourselves in his world when we're perfect without any alteration. We have to alter our mind to be in a God, a God level or the devotional realm of understanding, but you have to understand yourself. And through understanding yourself, you're going to understand everybody else and the God within you, and understanding you, King Noble. But
you're teaching.
It's really a lot that people don't, because what I learned is just I see myself in awe. You know what I'm saying? When I love myself, I'm loving awe. You know what I'm saying? But when people come to you or come into your circumference, with battles or just any type of issues, that's really a reflection from your issue. Things that you still need to let go. Things that you still need to let go in the past is not in a divine order. It should not be reflected upon. It should be left to deflect. But at the end of the day, we just have to stay humble ourselves, and continue to move. At times, yes, we're moving into the unknown. Yes, that's the basic part, because all what we know is this white man. We know this white man's world. We know this white man's matrix. So you're really moving into the unknown. You know what I'm saying? That's where that fearlessness comes into. You know what I'm saying? Moving into the unknown without fear. You trusted this white man all this time. Trust a black God living on this planet. You know what I'm saying? We claim as though we believe in God and we have all this God tendency. Well, there's a God on this planet that's been, we've been going through hell, try to get people to understand, and just vibe and just humble yourself and just devote yourself to black rulership, to devotion, to loving more of yourself, yourself and many people. And by you being the example, and as you walk the world, you will change. People will be like, oh my gosh, she's just different. Like, she's just not like everybody. She's not like the sheep. You know what I'm saying? And people pay homage to that. Because it's a black rulership is a devotion. It's like you're strong, you're mighty, you're divine. That I'm supreme in my stance, not able to be moved. I will move you, but I won't be moved. You know what I'm saying? As we walk through this matrix, we're creating and we're reconstructing the supposed little white supremacy matrix into our world, and it's ending as we make example and as we devote ourselves and stay humble. You know what I'm saying? And continue to devote ourselves and stay on the path. This path is not easy, but it's rewarding once you get on it, and it's like your world becomes whatever you want it to be as you move, and you change however you want it. However you want it to go, it goes. But you have to be in devotion. Humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a God and see the God within everyone else and the true God, the living God that's actually here. You know what I'm saying? We all have an example. We all have a piece of the living God here that walks on this planet, which is you, Kingdom of Excellency. But at the end of the day, you have to actually tap into that. People don't want to actually humble themselves to tap into that. We speak knowledge, we speak humbleness, we speak devotion, but it's actually tapping into it and actually giving the time and devotion, you know what I'm saying, to really sit down and meditate and just really and think and just fall back. Because once you really quiet the mind, you kind of start to unlock the Akashic record, to where everything just starts to connect, and you see how everybody is connected, and how your devotional example will be key to someone else's salvation because of your devotion. You're unlocking someone else's Akashic records through your devotion.
You're teaching.
And people don't understand that. It's a constant push. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? We are here. But are you here? We're here, but are you here? You know what I'm saying? You have to ask that question. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? They say God is here, but you have to ask yourself, if God is here, that means I'm here. And people don't really pay homage that they're even here. You know what I'm saying? They say there's a God here, but are you here? If we're God's children, and if we're God's and moving like God, how are you here, but it's not a God here? You know what I'm saying? So we have to just humble ourselves.
You teaching. And the only way God can come through you is if God has to come through you. And when I'm talking about through you,
right,
through your third eye, through your mind's eye. If God can't come through you, God can never come to you. So if God can come to you, guess what? God then came through you. So that bears witness to the level of consciousness that you have raised for God to be able to come through you. Even through your womb and through the womb of your perception. In order for me to deal with somebody on a godly level, I have to interact and interface with them from the perspective of God consciousness. And that's what people don't realize. They quick to say that there cannot be a God outside of them. They quick to say that. But what they don't realize that's easy for there to be a nigga outside of them, though. They don't hesitate. They're slow to say, let me rephrase that. They're slow to say that there is a God outside of them. But they quick to say that there's a nigger outside of me. There's a bitch outside of me. You know, there's a thirsty outside of me. There's a rapist outside of me. There's a pedophile outside of me. There's a homosexual outside of me. You follow what I'm saying? They're quick to say these things fast. They know this is outside of them. They know that this is outside of them. But a God is not outside of them. If somebody comes to them as a God outside of them, they say, I'm God too. But if somebody comes outside of them that is a rapist, they don't say, well, I'm a rapist too. Ain't no rapist outside of me. If somebody comes to them and say there is a thief outside of them, I'm a thief, they going to say, well, you know, I'm a thief too. Why is it that the negative can be outside of you, but the divine can't be outside of you, and then when you look outside of you, all you see is negative, and all your associations with people are negative, because that's all you allow room for. That's all you willing to see outside of you is negative, because it exalts you to feel that everybody outside of you is negative. That makes you feel better. That you can possibly imagine that somebody is higher outside of you, but if your life is getting higher, aren't the people outside? Don't the people outside of you need to be higher than you if you're getting higher? Are you surprised that people outside of you are higher than you? If you said, I want to be higher, I want to be better, I want to be faster, I want to be more on point, are you surprised that the people that you are associating with are higher than you? Is the people that you want to associate with? Because if they're so less than you or lesser than you, or they're the same as you, you know, you don't need them. You can leave them alone. But you demand and request the presence of these individuals. And you say you're getting higher and going to a higher level. Maybe they do reflect the higher level that you're trying to get to. And you should not be surprised. See the higher level. You shouldn't be surprised if people are higher. If people are higher, if they're a God outside of you. They don't want to divine outside of you, if they're supreme outside of you, you shouldn't be surprised. You should be. It should be timely that if I'm trying to reach a higher level, then I should expect those of whom I attract to me to be at the higher level, to be reflective and represent the higher level that I'm trying to get to. Now, everybody that didn't met me is at a higher level materially, as a higher level in manifestation than they was before they met me. They didn't took something from me, something from my book, something from the chapters that I put. They didn't took a chapter, and they're more at an exalted space because they came in contact with something that was higher than them, and now they are higher as due to that. But the problem with that is you can't get any higher if you are not willing to reverence anything higher than you. There is no higher that you can go. You can't grow anymore. You can't get any further. If there's nothing higher outside of you, you are in prison. You are locked down. You are not going any further. You better hope that you can reach a God outside of you or something higher than you that can take this world and this universe to a higher place, because the condition that we're looking at it in today is not in a good condition. The violence, the ignorance, the discrimination, the racism, the genocide, the patricide, the fratricide, you follow, that we see in the world today. You better hope that there's some higher, because it's not looking good. Then all the pain and the suffering that we have been through in our life, we better hope that it's something higher, because it ain't looking good. If that's all we got, is all the suffering and pain that we had in our life and all we went through and how we feel that we have been mistreated and victimized and how we have been abused and taken advantage, if that's all we got, there's nothing higher for us. There's nothing higher outside of that, of what we have experienced. You better hope there is, and you better expect that to be. But if God is going to come to you, God has to come through you. If I can't be God through your eyes, I'm gonna be 100 with everybody on this line today. If I can't be God through your eyes, trust me, I can't be nothing but a nigga to you. I can't be nothing but a nigga to you. And that's what's crazy about the dude that cut my grass. If he can't be God through me, then he can't be God to me. This is the reality. And if he can't be God through me and God to me, then he can't be nothing but a nigga to me. And he gonna do what niggas do. And I've already permitted and authenticated that relationship by not giving him the space and consciousness to be something else, because I limit him to a certain particular level based on my perception or based on how I need to see myself. It ain't about how you need to see yourself, it's how you need to be yourself. Because if you be the right way with people, they gonna be right with you. And it starts off seeing them in the right way. Seeing them in the right way, because the way you see things is the way you react to them, the way you respond to them, and what reality that you reinforce. There better be a God outside of you. If you go into heaven, if you realize your situation is hell, if you realize that you're coming from a situation that needs to improve, that needs to advance, that you want your situation to become a heavenly situation, guess what? When you start stepping your foot into heaven, the first thing you're going to start seeing is God. As soon as you step into heaven, the evidence of you being in heaven is not white clouds and flying angels and harps. The evidence that the final and ultimate evidence that you're reaching heaven is now you seeing God. So where's your location? You know, where's your GPS? Where you at if you're not seeing God? If you still seeing a nigga and you seeing niggas that want to be God, you seeing niggas that ain't shit that call themselves God, and you seeing people that got a whole lot of information and a whole lot of evidence of the wisdom that they have, but yet they just still just a nigga. Is that what's showing up in your life? Somebody with a whole bunch of wisdom, a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of manifestation, a whole bunch of integrity, a whole bunch of consistency, a whole bunch of determination. But they just a nigga though. That's what's showing up for you. That's going to be a temporary experience. If you can't sustain divinity through your perception, then it will not remain in your life. Let me repeat that. Cannot sustain divinity in your perception, it will not remain in your life. The divinity that has to be in your life, it can only be maintained through you. It can only stay there through you. You start seeing bullshit and ghosts and apparitions and niggas and bullshit, that's what's going to show up and that's what your life is going to become. Because that's all you can see, that's all you're able to see, that's all you're open to, that's the only possibility that you're open to, that you're willing to entertain. But when you start entertaining the manifestation of God in your life showing up, then that's to the level and to the degree that you can experience a black divine reality. If you ain't met nothing in all your life, all of them you can say, well, man, they not woke, they not woke, they not woke. They ain't woke up, they not conscious, they not this, they not that. And the first person that you can agree is conscious, that you can agree is awakened, you can say, you know what, but still, that ain't nothing but a nigga. That says something about you.
Right. You ain't nothing but a nigga.
That says something about you. None of them will argue. The most awakened person that they could ever meet, just a nigga, like everybody else. And that's why Marcus Garvey was deported. That's why Marcus Garvey was deported. That's why they put Yahweh Ben Yahweh in jail. That's why Dr. Malachi York is sitting in jail right now, because we can't see nothing but a nigga, no matter how, you know. And I to me, even nigga is a word that can be energetically transformed and perceived as something divine. I don't even see nigga as a bad thing, but I'm just saying based on their construct, I don't feel offended by being called a nigger, or even white people calling me a nigger. To tell you the truth, that doesn't even really bother me, because I know who I am. The nigger is something divine. Of course I'm a nigger. I'm a nigger, I'm black, I'm a Moor. You follow what I'm saying? I'm Semitic, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm all that. So I don't get offended. I take all of it. I'm a nigger, I'm a Moor, I'm all of it. So when white people say nigger, yes, I'm something other than you. You mean something other than you? Sure, of course. I don't want people get mad when white people call them a nigger. They just saying you're something other than them, and they are absolutely right. Their word for something other than them is a nigger. They're correct. We're something other than them. You can play semantics all day long. Some people are mad that by them being called a nigger, that you're saying I'm not white, I'm not you, I'm not a part of your world, you don't accept me? No, it's actual facts. You're something other than them. The nigger is just a placeholder word. You feel me? Don't get mad about it. So if they say you're a nigger, I'm something other than you. I'm not a white man. Okay? You could say I'm arguably black, I'm arguably more, I'm arguably... It's all arguable, but it all means the same thing. We're something else other than them. And we all, whether we niggers, Moors, Comedics, Hebrew Israelites, African Americans, or whatever, we all have something in common. We are all collectively something that is something other than them. Do you follow? That's what all those titles have in common. We are not that Caucasian. We're not the Tamahu. We're not that white man. So when they say nigger, they're really just saying that you are something other than them. So when they start getting hip hop and calling everybody niggas, and we nigga, I'm a niggas, we all niggas. Now they're talking about a mannerism, a way of behaving. They're talking about urban culture. Nigga is an urban cultural word that deals with hip hop, and but nigger means that we're something other than the white man. You follow? The white man will never be a nigger. He can be a nigga. Do you follow? But he'll never be a nigger. So nigger is actually a more specific word to point out the differences and the distinctions between us and them than the word nigger. Nigger is actually better, because it makes us clear. We stay clear that we are not them. We're something other than them. You follow that? We're not a part of their club. We're not a part of their party. We're not a part of their dying world. We're not a part of their recessive reality. So we should be proud to be niggers too. Do you follow? We should be proud to be. They say I'm black and I'm proud. We've all every other title we've had. I'm about to hit you with this. Every other title we had other than nigger has been trying to correct, felt about being what the nigger represented, what the word nigger represented, which simply means something other than the white man, something that is not a part of the white race. That's all that means. But we wanted to be white so much because Europeans had became the working definition of being a human being. Follow me with this. We confuse being white with being human. So when you calling me a nigger, you trying to say I'm not human. You trying to say I'm not white? Because white has become the standard of what being a human being is. So if you're not white, you're not human. So if they call you a nigger, you trying to say I'm not a human. You trying to say I'm not a white man. I'm saying they absolutely correct. We are not a white man. I'm not a white man. I'm something else. You can use the word nigger. That's fine. As long as you clear that I'm something else, I'm clear that I'm something else. No problem at all. Some people saying, well, I'm just colored. I have color to me. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm melanated. Somebody, I'm a white man that got painted on. I'm colored. I was born with a different color. They try to say that they're a white man that is black, that's painted black. They're trying to say that they're the same as a white person, but they just have color on them. That is emphatically incorrect. There's so many genetic differences between us and white people that we have to take into consideration, that we would be foolish to take some generic and overgeneralized concept of what a human is based on white people as a prototype, we would be totally foolish to do that. Totally foolish. We are more than just colored. We are more than just melanated. Being black, being a nigger has way more value. There's way more significance to that than just being colored. There's way more, it's way deeper. Color difference. That the difference between us and white is a matter of color. That is totally idiotic. Totally idiotic. Our relationship to sun, nature, fruits, vegetables, animals, our psychology, rhythm, vibration, all of that. All that is so much more valuable than the fact that there is a color difference between us. Even though the color difference is amazing too. It is amazing. And it's not to be diminished. But don't diminish all of the other aspects of what we are to try to say we're just a colored white person. When a white person say nigger, if you're not trying to be a part of his world, his race, you don't want to be Becky, you don't want to be in association with him, you don't want to be equated with him, or you don't want to be, a part of whatever he got going on, you should be happy to be, you should be proud to be considered a nigger. That way you'll never get mixed into that batch. You'll never get mixed in. You will never get lost in his world. If you're aware of what your distinctions are. But I didn't want to sidetrack too far off of that. I definitely want to give some light on that, be proud to be black. Be proud to be whatever, that can be used to call, whatever they can call you. You need to be proud of that. Whatever they're using to refer to what is you, to the divine being that is you, whatever they're using to refer to that. You should be proud of 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 that. You should be proud to be a nigger. You should be proud to be black, proud to be Moor, proud to be African American, proud to just be African. Proud to be whatever word they feel like using that week. You're proud to be you. You're proud to be what you are, beyond words, beyond terminology, beyond descriptions, beyond classifications, beyond categories. You are proud to be you and what you are. But when I use the word nigger in this context, I mean, we're quick to see how our people can be something negative outside of us. But we cannot fathom or accept or embrace someone being something that is extremely positive outside of us. Kind of narcissistic, that's kind of egotistical, that's kind of spiritually immature. That's kind of unenlightened, to not have a space for somebody to be greater than you where that manifests. Where that happens. That's kind of immature. Wake up. Be truly enlightened. If God comes to you, it comes to you. They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The teacher could be there all the time. But where there's no student, there is no teacher. Where there's no devotee, there is no God. If you're not into the Orishas, you're not into Yoruba, you're not into the Ifa, you never saw Oludumare. You never experienced Olegba. You never experienced Yemaya. Because you have not reverenced the Orisha. So there's no God. If God cannot come through you, they cannot come to you. So you missing all the power and greatness and the divinity of the gods because you're not attuned to even perceive them. That's like gravity. Gravity is invisible. Okay, but if you perceive gravity, basically perceive being another word for understand. To say you perceive means you understand. If you perceive gravity, then gravity can be utilized to your benefit. You can use gravity. You can use gravity gravity as power. If you perceive gravity. They have gravity flow technology. Any of you all who have studied any off-the-grid technology and living off the grid, a lot of it is gravity flow technology. The water systems, the rainwater catching systems, it's all dealing with gravity flow. To some people, gravity ain't nothing but something, I'm going to drop this glass and break something. Gravity breaks everything. Gravity is the devil to people who do not perceive or understand the power that gravity possesses. Some people just don't even see gravity. Stuff just happens and they say, well, that broke, that fell, that. They don't understand how gravity operates. But for those who do, gravity is power for them. They're off the grid technology and they're running their off the grid homesteads off gravity. Seeing God is like seeing gravity. It's a power that you can utilize if you can perceive it, if you can understand it. But it's not apparent. It's not going to be apparent to everybody because it's not. You can't see it. You can't point. Oh, that's gravity. You only see what gravity does. You don't see. You can't look and see gravity. You can't quantify or measure gravity outside of how it acts upon material objects. So the potential of movement is where gravity lies at. The potential for motion is where gravity resides. Potential for Godship. The potential in man is where God resides. Let me repeat that. The true potential that lies within man is where God resides. It's God's home. God lives in the infinite and eternal potential of mankind. The more of it that you access, the more of it that you are a manifested God on this plane. Now, people don't see gravity. Some don't see God. They see shit falling, they see shit breaking, they see shit leaning. They don't see gravity. They have no perception of it. There, it is invisible. But those who do see gravity are empowered by it and utilize it. And they realize, even though it is not apparent, it still exists outside of me, and it is the power that can be utilized. It is a force. Let me be clear. It's a force that can be utilized if I can perceive it. If not, I can't use it. If I can't see it, it's almost as though it really does not exist because I cannot conceptualize it in a way where it can be utilized and where it can be beneficial to me. I want to open up the lines. As we in the last 27 minutes of the live stream. So those people on live, you might want to call in so that you do not miss, because I'm going to go for another hour. But the live will only go for another 27 minutes. So call in now if you're listening on the live through the link and you don't want to get off the phone. If you have called in, you do not want to get off the phone, or you will not hear the rest of the show after the 26 minutes. I want to thank everybody for calling in, with their insight and with their input. And just as a special entity, a significant person in where this world is going energetically, by even entertaining this conversation, like next to devotion, is entertain, is being able to entertain. The next level past entertainment is devotion. But if you can't get to a level of devotion, you start off entertaining. You're curious and you entertain certain ideas. That's the start. You're just entertaining it. You're not really devoted. You're not locked in. You're not committed, but you're entertaining it. And that's a step. So I want to thank everybody who's called in, who's just entertaining this conversation. Appreciate it that you would take some time out your day to entertain this, to just even look into this channel, to open this channel up. Whether you're going to enter into this alternate reality and manifest it in your world, that's a different question, but just the fact that you entertain it, I thank you for that, because it's not in vain.
Greetings. Feng Shui tonight. This Feng Shui. Kim the Feng Shui. Black Supremacy. I wanted to touch on the devotion again, and how you speak on us having the devotion. And I think we, as a people, we have forgot how to devote ourselves to ourselves and our own God. You know, we've put so much energy into this system of things to where we have really forgotten, and we have passed that on from generation after generation. At one point, the devotion got lost, and we got caught up in the matrix. Instead of devoting ourselves to ourselves, I think we focus on fighting the beast so much and focus on trying to get that enemy to accept us, when we really just need to accept ourselves. And once we can accept ourselves, we can find true devotion. And when we find that true devotion in ourselves, we can see God in us, and we can see God in others. And I think that's where we got lost, you know. We can begin to see God in a lot of our people, no matter what level that they're on. You can see that God in them. And when you shed that light of devotion to God and understanding God and understanding who your God is and truly your God is, that light, and open up that light to where you can bring that next person onto that God level too. They will begin to tap into that God level too. It's just only up to them. Like you say, they have to stop just entertaining it, but tap into it also too. So I just wanted to add a note. You've been on fire, you know. You've been keeping it lit the last time we've been on these little talks, and you know, it has really pushed me to want to grow more and to want to put into that devotion. If anything, I know about devotion, and you spoke about channeling what we channel inside ourselves, and I began to get a little biased about what I bring. That's how I discovered you. I would click on videos, and you know, no disrespect to any of the other guys and goddesses, but a lot of what they were saying just never resonated with me. It never stuck with me. It wasn't what I was focused on, and it wasn't where it was going to bring me to, and what level I was trying to get to. So I would pass up a lot of channels, and I would just devote myself to your channel. And your channel is where I find we have to get on that narrow path on your channel, and that is what I'm looking at and looking for in my stage, and that's that devotion. And when you get that devotion going, you start getting on that narrow path, knowing what you want and knowing where you're trying to go. You have to add that.
You teaching. Yeah. You on fire.
No, you on fire.
You on fire, man. That first show I did, you called in, man, that was inspiration. Your voice was like, inspiration.
Thank you. I'm inspired by every last one of you guys. You know, I've been inspired. I'm sort of, I won't click on nobody else now. It's like, but I have to give someone else a chance. But what starts happening for you, what starts manifesting for us, is that we begin to look for similarities. And we want to find that similarity in other channels. That's what's going to happen next. You're going to want to find that similarity in other channels. Like Isis, you know, I'm linked with Isis now, so I like her channel. So you just want to find that similarity. And once you begin to find those similarities, you'll start clicking on other channels because you'll be clear on what you want to channel within you. So keep up the good work, King. I appreciate you.
That's power.
And I appreciate everyone that supports you. I really do. Big up to all the gods and all the goddesses. That's what I wanted to add for tonight, okay? I'm silently listening every chance I get.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Welcome. I appreciate you too. Black Supremacy.
Black Supremacy. Yeah, 505.
Yeah, Black Supremacy. Peace, God.
Black Supremacy.
Yes, yeah, Bridget, much love, yo, much praise to you, the living God, King Noble. Yeah, we love you, God. And, yeah, man, your beautiful words and explanations, so to speak, you really make it plain all the time. So, give thanks, God. Give thanks every single time. And I got to say real quick to the queens that's calling in, it's like, they like angels to my ears, God, because, you know, you've been putting in a lot of work, so to speak, you know what I mean? So, obviously, Black Supremacy, like, we look at work in a different way, so, like, and we look at so many different words in so many different ways, right? So, but the queens, man, I have to give them thanks, and I feel like, you know, you not only deserve, King, and I use that word you in a certain way too, because, you know what I'm saying, these words, King, like these conversations you want to have with people, people, that's another word, you know what I mean? So, like, I appreciate the love that you're talking to all of us on different levels, because, you know, but however, the queens, man, I feel like you not only deserve, but you're worthy of that praise. And I feel like the distinction between deserving and worthy is like somebody could talk about like an old king, you know, maybe Garvey, you know, bless his soul, Selassie, and we feel like he's automatically worthy, you know what I mean, of praise. And that's like automatic, like writing your account, automatic direct deposit. But deserving has to do with kind of work, you know what I'm saying? It has more of a work indicativeness, and you don't talk about much stuff like what about your history, because you really don't have a history, you know what I mean? Like on the Black God level, you know what I mean? There is no history, you feel me? But like I just want to make brief mention of that, and I'll probably speed up what I'm saying because I don't want to take up the lines like that, but I'm just happy to see you getting praise, King Noble. And I can't say it's past due because everything is in divine timing. However, you know, like, you have denounced the Matrix, like your own, so everything you're asking us to do, you have done, you know, and like, the Matrix has multiple projections, right? It's, first of all, the program, right, what it wants for us. And then it's what the program programs us to want for us, you know, and then there's what other people want for us, you know what I mean? And I've watched you not only, you know, the aforementioned and the latter, but, you know what I mean, you know how the pressures of life are, and like you have walked away from everything that we you know, is keeping us behind in life, and that can be an illusion. I'm talking about like the big things that people are afraid of sacrificing, King. I've seen you, man, and you have had the confidence to know that it will all add up in the roundabout. And I just want to say that, you know, and also, you feel me though, King?
Yes,
like,
sir.
I just want you to say yes, bro, because you deserve that, man. Like you have faced, it's like when they talk about Yahshua, the whole thing about how he overcame like Shaitan, you know what I mean? And that's why he was who he was, you know what I mean? And I like how back in the day when they was trying to teach people how to meditate, you were teaching us how to fight, how to hate. They was teaching us how to meditate, you was teaching us how to hate, you know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to devotion, there's a lot of love involved. And even the allowance of hate is inside of the love of that devotion. You know what I mean? It takes so much love to allow hate. You know what I mean? But anyway, because they wasn't giving us the right meditation. So you're not being reactionary with us. You're teaching us, fuck this cracker. And while everybody was trying to meditate, now everybody, you were teaching us war. And your older videos are way more revolutionary, just to back up what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing about that fearless foolishness is kind of what was being spoken about is like, when you're as extreme as you are, you know what I mean? You said certain things that cannot be said in the regular matrix. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, that's like saying, that's that fearlessly foolishness that is allowed inside of a matrix that you have engineered and designed to your own rules, to your own design. That you got no fear in there. So, and it's just like now that everybody's going to war, you teaching us how to be devoted and how to meditate. So I love how this is an advanced course because we're not following the trends, so to speak. We're doing, our own thing in the midst of everything else being done. But in this meditation, this is the actual war. This is the real war you're having to deal with. And I really appreciate that, man. And that is the advanced course because you have to name a course. You have to give it a name. But what is the professor? Who is the professor? That's going to dictate, what we're going to really get out of it. So it's like you say sometimes, nothing about the word fire can burn you. Nothing about the word fire is hot, right? So the words obviously don't represent what the essence is. Therefore, what I mean, God, my King, my God, is like, if somebody says advanced course, you have to look beyond the course and just check out the teacher. And I would rather not have any other God or teacher, because I have to say that you talk about everything. You don't keep any subject from us. Like some people, when they ask you to devote, they'll just hide a lot of things from you. They'll shelter the world from you so that you have to devote. It's a exclusionary devotion. You know what I mean? You are talking about an inclusionary devotion. You talk like people, like there's a sister, organic noble, a goddess. So she put together some fire playlists, and I'm like, wow, like anybody could go forward and check it out and see how, like you are the most, I can't even put a word behind that. What could I say? You are the most, King. And people don't want to accept that because they're still operating on a level of people. And that's why I love you so much, because I know you're slowing down so much to explain this to us. When it comes to metaphysics, you've been like so ahead. I think I have the impression you can't talk to us in the language that you want to yet. You know what I mean? And I just want to say, give thanks. I just want to say, like, anybody who's on to King Noble Black Supremacy and is not talking about this devotion that Noble's talking about, that I'm glad that he is bringing up, I feel like that person is going to be in purgatory. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'd like to say, like, if you're in purgatory, you've done work to get out of hell. So to have King Noble in your universe, you don't understand, like, what a blessing, to use, like, an English word, that really is. You don't know how much you've worked for that. You don't know how many lifetimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just saying, like, don't lose what the work you've put in to get out of hell just to fit into purgatory. You have to kind of like change the frequency to hear what the King is saying a little bit, because you're already in the perfect place. You know what I mean? You made it. You have made it if you're dealing with King Noble, but change that frequency a little bit. Yeah, because even when I first came across King on the internet, I was like, man, I wish niggas would do like, real YouTube channels and quit wasting YouTube time and shit. That was my first reaction. You see what I'm saying? So my first reaction was like, I wish niggas would stop playing on YouTube. You know what I mean? And then now, so King Noble was messing with me. You know what I'm saying? So King Noble was messing with me. You know what I'm saying? One has to understand the whole engineering of his universe. But I want to move on to say that I pray to the King. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get up and I say my prayers to the King. You know what I mean? And in King Noble's name. You know what I'm saying? And I got no explanation to give nobody about my prayer, but I will say it just feels black and right. And with that said, I'm like, black, a lot of people are getting caught up in trying to study that word and what it's meant, but King Noble is showing us that black just means God. So when he say black God consciousness, he's just saying God consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and that's, yeah, it's really what it is, because it's singular. There is really no two words, right? There can't be no two anything. Everything is singular. It's just God. If you want God, just put it some more. But there's only one name. There can only be one word. Like, nothing about the word fire is hot. So if we get up caught in too many words, but as I said, I pray to King Noble. And I feel like as we talk about devotion has a lot to do with love, right? And if you're talking about love like a relationship, it's the most honorary thing to choose your love. It's the most disrespectful thing to have an arranged marriage, so to speak, like in our contextual framework. Like, the whole freedom of it is to choose your love. You know what I'm saying? And even on a political level, if you can't vote who you want, right, it's a dictatorship. So the whole beauty in supposedly being free is in the choice. So how come we don't apply this to our God too? You know what I mean? You can choose the ugliest person to be your God. To be your girlfriend or your man. That's your choice. Like, you can totally do that. You can choose the worst candidate to be your president. That's totally up to you. That's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? And then you take more power in the fact that people are saying, why are you with this person? And you're saying, well, you don't understand. It's love. You just don't get it. You're looking at the wrong aspects. And all I'm basically trying to say, King Noble, is like, it's so beautiful to choose your God. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if you look at the word devote, there's vote in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, basically, King Noble's transcending the whole political dimension right now with us and bringing us into a spiritual voting ballot, to where we can win. We can win. We can have our own power base. People are getting this and getting the advantage of this, and I'm glad to see that. I'm very glad to see that you ain't never given up. You know what I mean? But anyway, the guru said one time that when a devotee comes to their house or to their temple, they're gonna make them sit outside. We all know the story. The monk sits outside. So they say this is a testing period to see how the devotion is, because the whole thing is that to be woken up out of such a great deep sleep, and sleep is nice, you know what I mean? It's not so nice, actually. It's a lot of nightmares going on, but, you know what I'm saying, it's still our own sleep, so we can't really gravitate to a polarity of it's nice or if it's not nice, because it's our own projection. And King Noble taught us about that. But for someone to wake you up from that, you could literally hate that person. And a lot of people, like, they pretend they're not King Noble's friend. You know what I'm saying? But they can't be his enemy either. Because when you step into King Noble Black Supremacy, nobody can be your enemy. See what I mean? Because it's like Trump. A lot of people won't like him, but nobody is equipped to be his enemy. You see, in the physical plane, they can't play that position with him. And in the spiritual plane, in King Noble Black Supremacy, you're no longer anybody to be hated or to be an enemy to anybody, because you rule your universe, but of course. So you're no longer on that realm. But if you're the guru and you try to wake someone up out of their deep sleep, right? If there is not love there, if there is not true love there, it's actually, the sister said earlier, it's the path of more of the heart. You know what I mean? And you can tell in someone's tone immediately if they're talking from the heart. This is why I fell in love as soon as I heard the Queens, and I love you, King Noble, and I love the Queens, and I love them. And it's a love that not sexual and no homo, but it's like, the fact is, nobody can have these conversations that you are having, King. It's very rare. And like I said, the people who can't have them with you, they cannot be your enemy, because you're not really an offense in this world no more. You're actually trying to piece things together, and but I just want to say, like, I see the advanced course. You know what I'm saying? I see how I say sometimes I'm an optimist. I'm so optimistic, it's pessimistic. I think that's kind of what you meant when you said there's a foolish fearlessness that goes on in this. And the reason I can be so optimistically pessimist is because my universe, which is not mine, you know what I'm saying, it's our universe, but however, like King Noble Black Supremacy offers the solution inside of one thought. Any foolishness can be rebounded from through the fearlessness, and I feel like you're adding an accent to everything that was not fully taught to us, like meditation, so to speak. A lot of black people, we've been trying to meditate, but we will never get where we're going if we're staying in the purgatory of avoiding, the King Noble's Black Supremacy. So I'm basically saying, King, keep doing what you're doing. What you are speaking is so clear, and I know you know that. And I feel like, even a white boy could get it if he wanted to, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm just giving thanks and praises to you, King, and I'm glad I was welcome on the line tonight.
Anytime, man. What you said was very, very prolific, very eloquent, and very precise, very well thought out. I welcome your insight at any time, man.
Yeah, man. All right. Bless. I love y'all, man.
Black Supremacy.
Black Supremacy.